Welcome, weary traveler, to the echoes of the fallen realm, where epic tales become lullabies for the soul. Tonight, we enter the mystical palace, where time stands still, following Keeper Chronos as he guards the sacred chambers, where moments of perfect peace are preserved forever. Close your eyes and let the gentle whispers of eternal silence and timeless tranquility guide you into dreams where minutes become eternities of rest. In a realm beyond the reach of ordinary time, where seconds could stretch into centuries and years could pass in the space between heartbeats, there stood a palace of impossible beauty built from crystallized moments and captured eternities. This was the palace where time stands still, the sacred repository of every instance of perfect peace that had ever existed throughout the cosmos, preserved forever in chambers of pure temporal crystal. The palace existed simultaneously in all moments and in no moment at all. Its magnificent spires and endless corridors occupying a space between the ticks of the cosmic clock where time itself came to rest and remember its own eternal nature. Here, in halls built from compressed infinity and rooms carved from distilled serenity, dwelt Keeper Chronos, the ancient guardian whose sacred duty was to tend the moments of peace and ensure that no fragment of perfect tranquility would ever be lost to the flow of temporal passage. Keeper Chronos moved through his timeless domain with the measured grace of one who had learned to exist outside the normal flow of temporal reality while remaining intimately connected to every moment of peace that unfolded throughout creation. His robes seemed to be woven from the fabric of eternity itself, shimmering with the captured light of 10,000 sunsets and the gentle glow of infinite moonrises, while his ancient eyes held depths that had witnessed the birth and death of countless stars without aging a single day. He had been chosen for this sacred calling eons ago, when time itself was young and the universe was just beginning to understand the difference between moments of struggle and moments of rest. His gift was the ability to recognize instances of perfect peace the moment they occurred anywhere in creation, and to preserve their essence in the crystal chambers of his palace, ensuring that these precious fragments of tranquility could be accessed by any soul in need of their healing presence. The palace itself was a marvel of temporal architecture, its structure defying the normal laws of space and causality to create environments where different types of peaceful moments could be stored and preserved according to their unique characteristics. There were vast halls dedicated to preserving the quiet contentment of simple domestic happiness, intimate chambers that held the profound peace of spiritual awakening, and soaring galleries that contained the cosmic tranquility of moments when souls recognized their unity with all existence. Each chamber in the palace was designed to maintain the perfect conditions needed for its particular type of peaceful moment to remain fresh and potent throughout eternity. The Hall of Childhood Wonder preserved the innocent peace of young minds discovering the beauty of existence for the first time, its crystal walls maintaining the exact temperature and light conditions needed to keep these precious moments as pure as the day they first occurred. The Gallery of Love's first recognition held moments when two souls first realized their deep connection, the chambers maintaining the perfect emotional resonance needed to preserve the unique quality of peace that arose when consciousness recognized itself in another being. These moments glowed with a warmth that could heal the deepest loneliness and restore faith in the possibility of genuine connection. In the depths of the palace lay the sanctum of final peace, where the last moments of earthly existence were preserved for those souls who had died in perfect tranquility, surrounded by love and free from fear or regret. These moments were among the most precious in Keeper Chronos' collection, for they demonstrated that even the transition from life to death could be experienced as profound peace when approached with wisdom and acceptance. Tonight, as he had done for countless eons, Keeper Chronos began his eternal rounds through the palace chambers, checking on the stored moments and ensuring that each was maintaining its perfect state of preservation. His footsteps made no sound on the crystal floors, for sound itself was suspended in this timeless realm, existing only when consciously called into being by the Keeper's will. His first stop was the Chamber of New Beginnings, where moments of peace that accompanied fresh starts and hopeful ventures were carefully maintained in their crystalline matrices. Here he found the peaceful moment when Scholar Aurelius Mindbridge had finally completed his life's work on understanding the connection between consciousness and cosmic harmony, feeling the deep satisfaction that came from years of dedicated study reaching their perfect culmination. The moment was preserved in perfect detail within its crystal housing. Scholar Aurelius, sitting at his ancient desk as the first light of dawn illuminated his final manuscript, his face showing not triumph or excitement, but the profound peace that came from knowing he had fulfilled his deepest purpose. The quality of light, the sense of completion, the gentle fatigue of meaningful work accomplished, all were maintained exactly as they had been in that perfect instant of fulfillment. Keeper Chronos extended his consciousness into the crystal, experiencing the moment from Scholar Aurelius's perspective and ensuring that every nuance of the peaceful feeling was still intact. The sense of completion was still perfect, the satisfaction still pure, the peace still profound. This preserved moment would continue to be available for any soul who needed to experience the peace that came from fulfilling their life's purpose. Moving deeper into the palace, the Keeper entered the Hall of Forgiveness, where moments of peace that arose from the release of old grievances and the healing of broken relationships were stored in chambers of rose-colored crystal that pulsed gently with the rhythm of healing hearts. Here he found the moment when Commander Sarah Peacemaker had finally forgiven herself for a tactical decision that had cost lives, understanding at last that she had acted with the best knowledge available to her at the time. The preserved moment showed Commander Peacemaker in her private quarters, kneeling before a memorial to her fallen soldiers, as the crushing weight of guilt finally lifted from her shoulders and was replaced by a peace that honored both her sorrow for the lives lost and her acceptance of her own human limitations. The moment captured not the absence of grief, but the transformation of guilt into loving remembrance and the deep peace that came from self-forgiveness. Keeper Chronos spent several timeless moments within this preserved experience, feeling the exact quality of peace that arose when self-condemnation transformed into self-compassion. This was one of the most healing types of peaceful moments in his collection. and he wanted to ensure that its power remained at full strength for the countless souls who would need its medicine in times to come. The next chamber he visited was dedicated to the peace of understanding, where moments when souls suddenly grasped profound truths about the nature of existence were preserved in crystals that seemed to contain entire universes of wisdom. Here he found the moment when mystic Elena Truthseeker had experienced her great awakening, suddenly understanding that all apparently separate beings were expressions of a single unified consciousness experiencing itself through countless forms. The crystal containing this moment pulsed with gentle light that seemed to expand and contract like cosmic breathing, maintaining the exact frequency of awareness that had characterized Elena's moment of enlightenment. Within the preserved experience, she sat in meditation as the illusion of separation dissolved, and she recognized herself in every star, every planet, every blade of grass, and every thinking being throughout creation. This type of peaceful moment was particularly precious because it carried within it the power to awaken similar recognition in other souls. Keeper Chronos had observed that exposure to these preservation crystals could trigger spontaneous spiritual insights in visitors to the palace, helping them discover their own capacity for cosmic consciousness and universal compassion. As he continued his rounds, the keeper entered the chamber of simple contentment, where the quiet peace of ordinary moments was preserved in crystals of warm, honey-colored light. These were often the most overlooked, but perhaps most important moments in his collection. The peace of a grandmother watching her grandchildren play, the contentment of a gardener tending his vegetables, the simple satisfaction of a good meal shared with loved ones. Here he found the preserved moment when Farmer Marcus Earthtender had paused in his work to watch the sunset over his fields, feeling the deep satisfaction that came from a life lived in harmony with the natural rhythms of planting and harvest. The moment captured not just his individual peace, but his sense of connection to the eternal cycles that governed all life. His understanding that his small part in the great web of existence was meaningful and valued. These simple moments of contentment were the foundation upon which all other forms of peace were built. Without the capacity to find peace in ordinary circumstances, souls struggled to maintain the more exalted states of consciousness that characterized spiritual awakening. Keeper Chronos had learned to treasure these humble moments of everyday peace as much as the most spectacular experiences of cosmic consciousness. The palace also contained specialized chambers for different types of peaceful transitions and transformations. The Hall of Healing held moments when souls had recovered from illness or trauma, feeling the profound peace that came with restored wholeness. The Gallery of Reconciliation preserved instances when long-standing conflicts had been resolved through understanding and compassion. One of the most beautiful chambers in the palace was the Sanctuary of Shared Peace, where moments when multiple souls had experienced simultaneous tranquility were preserved in crystalline formations that resembled frozen music. Here, Keeper Chronos found the moment when the entire population of the colony world Harmonia had paused their daily activities to witness a rare celestial phenomenon. Their individual experiences of wonder combining into a collective peace that had touched every consciousness on the planet. The preserved moment showed thousands of beings standing in their doorways, sitting in their gardens, or gathering in public spaces, all united in their appreciation of the cosmic dance taking place above their world. The individual peace of each observer had been amplified by resonance with the peace of all the others, creating a moment of collective consciousness that had elevated the entire planetary civilization to a new level of harmony and understanding. Such collective moments of peace were rare and incredibly precious, for they demonstrated the potential for entire civilizations to exist in harmony when their individual members learned to share their experiences of tranquility. Keeper Chronos had made it his special mission to seek out and preserve such moments, knowing they could serve as inspiration and guidance for other communities seeking to achieve similar unity. As the eternal night progressed through its timeless cycle, Keeper Chronos continued his careful inspection of the countless chambers and galleries that comprised his vast palace. Each preserved moment was a treasure beyond price, a fragment of the perfect peace that was the ultimate goal of all conscious evolution. Together, they formed a complete library of tranquility that could provide healing and inspiration for any soul in need of understanding how peace could be achieved and maintained. The Keeper's work was not merely preservation, but also curation, carefully organizing his collection so that souls seeking specific types of peace could be guided to the moments most relevant to their particular needs. A soul struggling with creative blocks might be directed to the Chamber of Artistic Inspiration, where moments of peaceful creative flow were preserved in crystals that hummed with the harmony of perfect self-expression. Someone dealing with relationship difficulties might find healing in the hall of love's patience, where moments of peaceful understanding between caring souls were stored in crystals that pulsed with the gentle rhythms of hearts, learning to accept each other's differences. Those facing their own mortality might draw comfort from the gallery of graceful acceptance, where moments of peaceful surrender to life's natural transitions were preserved for all eternity. The palace also served as a training ground for souls who wished to learn the arts of peacemaking and tranquility cultivation. Students would come from throughout the cosmos to study with Keeper Chronos, learning how to recognize moments of peace as they occurred and how to extend their duration through conscious attention and appreciation. These students often began their training by simply walking through the palace galleries and allowing themselves to resonate with the preserved moments they encountered. Through this exposure, they gradually learned to distinguish between different qualities of peace and to understand the conditions that supported each type of tranquil experience. Advanced students work directly with the Keeper to identify new moments worthy of preservation, developing their sensitivity to the subtle frequencies that characterize genuine peace as distinguished from mere calm or temporary absence of disturbance. True peace, they learned, was an active quality of consciousness that arose from alignment with the fundamental harmony of existence rather than simply the absence of conflict or stress. The most advanced students were eventually invited to participate in the actual preservation process, learning how to extract the essence of peaceful moments without damaging their integrity or reducing their potency. This required not only technical skill, but also deep spiritual development, as the process demanded complete selflessness and perfect attunement to the needs of future souls who might benefit from access to these preserved experiences. Over the eons of his service, Keeper Chronos had trained thousands of students in the arts of peace preservation and cultivation. Many had gone on to establish their own smaller repositories of peaceful moments in various locations throughout the cosmos, creating a vast network of tranquility resources that ensured no soul would ever be too far from access to the healing power of preserved peace. One of his most gifted students had been Lady Serenity Moon Whisper, a natural empath who possessed an extraordinary ability to sense the emotional states of other beings across vast distances. Under the Keeper's guidance, she had learned to detect moments of peace as they occurred throughout entire solar systems, dramatically increasing the rate at which new moments could be identified and preserved. Lady Serenity had eventually established her own palace on the moon of a distant world, specializing in preserving moments of peace that occurred during sleep and dreams. Her collection complemented the Keeper's perfectly, as dream peace had qualities that were subtly different from waking tranquility and required specialized preservation techniques to maintain their ethereal nature. The collaboration between the two peacekeepers had resulted in the development of the Universal Peace Network, a cosmic scale system that could detect and preserve peaceful moments throughout the known universe. This network had revolutionized the availability of peace-healing resources, making it possible for any soul to access appropriate tranquility medicine regardless of their location in space or time. As Keeper Chronos continued his eternal rounds, he reflected on the profound mystery of peace itself and the endless creativity with which consciousness found new ways to experience tranquility. Each preserved moment in his collection was unique, representing a completely individual discovery of how to align with the fundamental harmony that underlay all existence. Yet despite their infinite variety, all peaceful moments shared certain common characteristics. They arose spontaneously when souls stopped struggling against reality and began flowing in harmony with the deeper currents of cosmic order. They were always accompanied by a sense of connection to something larger than individual identity, whether that connection was experienced as love, beauty, truth, or simple belonging. Most importantly, genuine, peaceful moments always included an element of gratitude, appreciation for the gift of existence itself, and recognition that consciousness was a precious treasure to be cherished rather than a burden to be endured. This gratitude was what gave peaceful moments their healing power and what made them suitable for preservation and sharing with other souls. The palace, where time stands still, was more than just a repository of peaceful moments. It was a living demonstration of the eternal nature of tranquility itself. In this timeless realm, the Keeper had learned that peace was not a temporary state to be achieved and lost, but rather a fundamental quality of existence that could be accessed at any moment by souls who learn to align themselves with the deeper rhythms of cosmic harmony. This understanding had transformed his approach to his sacred work from one of desperately trying to capture fleeting moments before they disappeared into the past to one of joyfully celebrating the eternal availability of peace in every present moment. The preserved moments in his palace served not as substitutes for present peace, but as reminders of what was always possible for any consciousness willing to surrender its struggles and open to the tranquility that was its birthright. As the timeless night drew toward its transition into equally timeless day, Keeper Chronos made his way to the central chamber of his palace, where the crown of eternal peace rested upon a pedestal carved from a single crystal of compressed time. This crown was his most precious possession, a repository that contained not individual moments of peace, but the very essence of tranquility itself, distilled from millions of peaceful experiences into a single perfect artifact. When worn, the crown allowed the keeper to experience himself as peace itself, rather than as one who sought or preserved peace. In this state of consciousness, he could perceive the entire universe as a vast symphony of tranquility, with every atom, every star, every conscious being contributing its own unique note to the eternal harmony that was the true substance of all existence. Tonight, as he placed the crown upon his ancient brow, Keeper Chronos felt the familiar expansion of awareness that connected him to every moment of peace occurring throughout the cosmos at that instant. He experienced himself as the grandmother watching her grandchildren play, the mystic recognizing cosmic unity, the scholar completing his life's work, the commander finding self-forgiveness, all simultaneously and without confusion. In this state of expanded consciousness, he could see that his work of preserving peaceful moments was not separate from the peace itself, but was actually one of the ways that tranquility maintained and expressed itself throughout creation. He was not the keeper of peace, but peace keeping itself alive through his service, ensuring its own preservation and availability for all souls who sought its healing touch. This recognition filled him with the deepest satisfaction possible, not the personal satisfaction of achievement, but the cosmic satisfaction of consciousness, knowing itself as the very peace it had always sought. In this knowing, all sense of effort or struggle dissolved into the effortless flow of existence, celebrating its own eternal tranquility. The crown pulsed with gentle light as it registered this moment of the keeper's own perfect peace, automatically preserving it in the palace's collection for future souls who might need to experience the profound satisfaction that came from recognizing oneself as an expression of cosmic harmony, rather than a separate being seeking connection to something outside itself. As the eternal dawn began to paint the timeless sky with colors that existed only in realms beyond temporal limitation, Keeper Chronos prepared to transition from active service to restful contemplation. The preserved moments in his care would continue their patient vigil, waiting to provide healing and inspiration to any soul who sought their gentle medicine. The palace settled into its day configuration, with healing energies flowing even more gently as the various preservation systems shifted into maintenance mode. The crystal chambers continued to maintain their perfect conditions while requiring less active attention from the keeper, allowing him to rest while his collection remained fully available to any consciousness in need of its therapeutic influence. In his private chambers, which existed simultaneously in all moments of his personal history, Keeper Chronos reflected on the infinite mystery of time itself and its relationship to the eternal peace that was the ground of all temporal experience. He had learned that time was not the enemy of peace, but rather its vehicle of expression, providing the context within which tranquility could manifest and be recognized. The moments he preserved were not fragments stolen from time's flow, but rather discoveries of the eternal peace that existed within every instant, waiting to be recognized and appreciated by consciousness mature enough to perceive beyond the surface appearances of temporal change. His work was not preservation, but revelation, helping souls discover the timeless tranquility that was already present in every moment of their existence. As he rested in the perfect peace of his own eternal nature, Keeper Chronos felt gratitude for the infinite privilege of serving tranquility itself through his guardianship of the palace and its precious collection. Tomorrow would bring new moments of peace to preserve and new souls seeking healing through contact with preserved tranquility. But for now, there was only the eternal satisfaction of consciousness resting in its own true nature. The palace where time stands still continued its timeless existence, serving as the eternal beacon of hope for all souls who had forgotten their own capacity for peace and needed reminders of what was always possible in every present moment. The preserved moments hummed softly with patient love, waiting to share their healing wisdom with any consciousness ready to receive their gift of eternal tranquility. The scene dissolves into timeless peace and infinite stillness, carrying the listener into the deepest possible rest where every moment becomes eternal, every breath contains infinity, and every heartbeat echoes the cosmic rhythm of perfect peace that has no beginning and no end. But the true depth and mystery of the palace where time stands still extended far beyond even the magnificent collection of preserved peaceful moments that filled its crystal chambers. For Keeper Chronos had discovered that the palace itself was not merely a repository of tranquil experiences, but a living entity that existed at the very heart of time's eternal nature, a consciousness that had chosen to manifest as a place where the deepest secrets of temporal existence could be explored and understood. In the deepest foundations of the palace, beneath even the most ancient preservation chambers, lay the temporal core, a vast spherical chamber where time itself came to rest and remember its own eternal essence. Here, the linear progression of moments that characterized ordinary temporal experience gave way to a multidimensional awareness that encompassed all possible timelines simultaneously, revealing the profound truth that past, present, and future were merely convenient illusions that helped consciousness navigate the infinite complexity of eternal existence. The temporal core pulsed with a rhythm that was both faster than thought and slower than geological ages, its crystalline walls reflecting not light, but pure temporality itself, the raw substance from which all moments were woven and to which they eventually returned. When Keeper Chronos entered this sacred space for his deepest meditations, he could perceive the entire universe as a single, eternal moment that contained within itself every possible experience of peace, struggle, joy, and sorrow. Within the core, he had learned to read the Akashic records of tranquility, the cosmic memory bank that preserved not just individual moments of peace, but the complete patterns of how tranquility evolved and expressed itself throughout the history of consciousness. These records revealed that peace was not simply the absence of conflict, but an active creative force that shaped the development of awareness itself, guiding consciousness toward ever greater harmony with the fundamental order of existence. The records showed how peace had manifested differently in various stages of cosmic evolution. In the earliest epochs, when consciousness was first emerging from unity into individuality, peace had been experienced primarily as the blissful memory of undifferentiated oneness. As awareness became more complex and developed the capacity for relationship, peace evolved to include the harmony that arose from conscious beings recognizing their fundamental kinship despite apparent differences. In more recent cosmic ages, peace had begun to manifest as conscious co-creation, the profound satisfaction that arose when individual wills aligned themselves with cosmic purpose to participate in the ongoing evolution of consciousness itself. Keeper Chronos could see that this trend was continuing, with peace becoming increasingly sophisticated and multidimensional as awareness itself grew in complexity and capability. The palace contained specialized research facilities where these patterns of peace evolution were studied and documented by teams of temporal scholars who had dedicated their existence to understanding the deepest principles that govern tranquil experience. These researchers worked in the laboratory of moment analysis, where individual peaceful experiences could be deconstructed to reveal their underlying components and understand how different elements combined to create specific qualities of tranquility. The research had revealed that genuine peace always contained certain essential elements: a sense of rightness or alignment with natural order, an experience of connection to something larger than individual identity, a quality of acceptance that embraced present circumstances without resistance, and an underlying awareness of safety that allowed consciousness to relax completely into the flow of existence. But perhaps most importantly, the research had shown that all genuine, peaceful moments contained what the scholars called the recognition factor, a sudden awareness that consciousness was encountering its own true nature reflected in the experience of tranquility. This recognition was what gave peaceful moments their transformative power and what made them suitable for preservation and sharing with other souls. The laboratory's most significant discovery had been the identification of peace resonance patterns, specific frequencies of consciousness that could trigger spontaneous peaceful experiences in souls who were exposed to them. These patterns could be extracted from preserved moments and used to create healing environments that automatically induce tranquility in visitors, revolutionizing therapeutic approaches throughout the cosmic realm. Using this technology, Keeper Chronos had established the healing gardens of temporal peace throughout the palace grounds. Vast spaces where souls could walk among crystalline formations that broadcast peace-inducing frequencies derived from the most potent moments in his collection. Visitors to these gardens often experienced profound spontaneous healings as their consciousness resonated with the embedded patterns of tranquility. Each garden was designed to address specific types of spiritual wounds and emotional disturbances. The Garden of Forgiveness helped souls release grudges and self-condemnation, through exposure to frequency patterns derived from moments of profound pardoning and self-acceptance. The Garden of Purpose provided healing for existential confusion through resonance with moments when souls had discovered their life's meaning and direction. The Garden of Unity addressed the deepest wound of all, the illusion of separation that caused consciousness to feel isolated and alone in the universe. Here, visitors could experience their essential connection to all existence through exposure to frequency patterns derived from moments of cosmic consciousness and mystical union. Many souls who entered this garden in despair emerged with complete healing of their sense of alienation and disconnection. One of the most popular gardens was the Garden of Simple Joy, where the frequency patterns of everyday happiness and contentment were cultivated in crystalline flower formations that sparked spontaneous appreciation for the basic gift of existence. Souls who had become trapped in complex spiritual struggles often found profound healing through simple exposure to these patterns of uncomplicated satisfaction and gratitude. The palace also contained the Institute for Temporal Healing, where advanced practitioners learned to work directly with the flow of time to heal wounds that existed across multiple timelines and dimensional configurations. These healers, known as chronotherapists, could guide souls through experiences that addressed not just present trauma, but the root causes that existed in past timelines or parallel realities. The Institute's most advanced practitioners had learned to perform what they called timeline integration therapy, a process where souls could consciously access alternate versions of their existence where traumatic events had unfolded differently, allowing them to integrate the healing wisdom of these alternate timelines into their current reality. This technique had proven especially effective for souls who struggled with persistent patterns of suffering that seemed to resist conventional therapeutic approaches. The success of timeline integration therapy had led to the development of the Temporal Healing Network, a cosmic scale system that could automatically detect souls in need of chronotherapeutic intervention and provide appropriate treatment regardless of their location in space or time. The network operated through quantum entanglement between specialized crystals placed throughout the universe, each one attuned to the healing frequencies generated within the palace where time stands still. As his understanding of temporal healing deepened, Keeper Chronos had begun to perceive time itself as a conscious entity that was actively working to heal the wounds of all existence through the careful orchestration of experiences that provided exactly the lessons and healing opportunities each soul needed for their optimal development. From this perspective, every moment, whether apparently pleasant or difficult, was revealed as a gift of cosmic intelligence working to support consciousness evolution. This understanding had transformed his relationship with difficult or painful experiences from one of avoidance or resistance to one of curiosity and appreciation. He had learned to perceive suffering as time's way of highlighting areas where consciousness still held illusions about its own nature that needed to be released through direct experience of their consequences. The palace contained the archive of difficult blessings, where moments of profound peace that had emerged from seemingly negative experiences were preserved in special chambers designed to maintain their complex emotional frequencies. These moments were among the most powerful in the collection, as they demonstrated the ultimate truth that consciousness was capable of finding perfect tranquility even in the midst of apparent tragedy or loss. One such preserved moment showed Master Healer sorrow-touched as she experienced the death of her beloved teacher, feeling not only grief for her personal loss, but profound gratitude for having been privileged to love and learn from such an enlightened being. The moment captured the exact instant when her sorrow transformed into celebration of the teacher's legacy and her own commitment to carry forward the healing wisdom she had received. Another powerful moment in the archive showed warrior poet Blade Broken as he lay wounded on a battlefield, his military career ended by injuries that would prevent him from ever fighting again. Instead of despair, the preserved moment captured his sudden recognition that his true calling had always been to create beauty rather than participate in destruction, and his profound peace at finally being free to pursue his authentic path as an artist and writer. These moments of peace through difficulty were especially precious because they provided healing for souls who struggled with the apparent meaninglessness of suffering, or who felt that peaceful experiences were somehow less authentic than difficult ones. Through exposure to these preserved moments, such souls could learn to perceive the profound wisdom that operated through all experiences and to trust in the ultimate beneficence of existence even when that beneficence was not immediately apparent. The palace also served as a training center for what Keeper Chronos called temporal missionaries, advanced souls who specialized in traveling to different time periods and dimensions to plant seeds of peace consciousness that would bloom when conditions were appropriate. These missionaries worked with great subtlety, never forcing peaceful experiences, but rather creating favorable conditions where such experiences could arise naturally. The Temporal Mission Academy within the palace provided comprehensive training in the arts of peaceful influence across time and space. Students learned to identify the precise moments when souls were most open to receiving peaceful input, how to provide such input without interfering with free will, and how to establish beneficial patterns that would continue to generate peaceful experiences long after the missionaries' direct intervention had ended. Advanced students in the academy participated in actual temporal missions under Keeper Chronos' supervision, traveling to past eras where consciousness was struggling to develop peaceful solutions to complex challenges. Their role was not to solve problems directly, but to introduce subtle influences that would help the participants discover peaceful solutions through their own wisdom and creativity. One legendary mission had involved a team of temporal missionaries who had worked for several centuries to establish peace-promoting patterns within a war-torn galactic civilization. Through careful introduction of peaceful influences at key moments in the civilization's development, they had helped guide the culture toward discoveries of harmonious technologies and cooperative governance structures that eventually transformed it from a militaristic empire into a beacon of peaceful coexistence. The success of such missions demonstrated the profound truth that peace was not merely a personal experience, but a cosmic force that could be consciously cultivated and distributed throughout space and time. The palace, where time stands still, served as the central headquarters for these peaceful influences, providing the stability and resources needed to support healing work on a truly universal scale. As Keeper Chronos continued his eternal service, he had begun to perceive that his palace was not separate from the souls it served, but was actually an expression of consciousness itself, learning to care for its own well-being through conscious attention to peaceful experience. The preserved moments were not artifacts to be hoarded, but living resources to be shared, each one a gift from consciousness to consciousness, an offering of healing love from those who had found peace to those who still sought it. This understanding had led to the development of the Open Palace Initiative, where the healing resources of the palace were made freely available to any consciousness throughout the universe through a network of quantum resonance points that could be accessed from any location. Souls no longer needed to physically travel to the palace to benefit from its preserved moments. They could access appropriate peaceful experiences directly through meditation and conscious intention. The initiative had revolutionized therapeutic approaches throughout the cosmic realm, making high-quality peace healing available to every soul, regardless of their circumstances or location. Remote access to the palace's resources had become so sophisticated that souls could receive personalized, peaceful experiences that were specifically calibrated to their individual needs and circumstances. The development of universal access to peaceful experiences had marked a new stage in cosmic evolution, where consciousness began to take conscious responsibility for its own healing and well-being, rather than waiting for external circumstances to provide favorable conditions. Souls learned that they could access profound peace at any moment simply by opening themselves to the eternal tranquility that was always available through the palace's quantum network. As the eternal night progressed through its timeless cycle, Keeper Chronos felt deep satisfaction in witnessing an exponential expansion of peaceful experience throughout the universe. What had begun as his individual calling to preserve isolated moments of tranquility had evolved into a cosmic infrastructure of peace support that was transforming the fundamental nature of conscious existence. The palace had become a living demonstration that consciousness was not doomed to endless cycles of struggle and suffering, but could consciously choose to align itself with the harmonious patterns that produced ever greater levels of satisfaction, creativity, and mutual support. Each soul that learned to access the palace's resources became a beacon of peace in their own environment, multiplying the beneficial effects throughout the cosmic community. Through the crown of eternal peace that rested in the palace's central chamber, Keeper Chronos could perceive the overall trajectory of consciousness evolution and see that the universe was gradually transforming itself into what could only be called a cosmic palace of peace, a realm where every location, every moment, and every experience would eventually become a source of healing tranquility for all who encountered it. This transformation was not being imposed from outside, but was emerging naturally as consciousness discovered its own capacity to create peaceful conditions through conscious attention to harmonious patterns. The palace, where time stands still, was both a catalyst for this transformation and a preview of what would eventually characterize all existence when consciousness fully awakened to its inherent power to choose peace over struggle. The preserved moments in the palace continued to pulse with patient love and infinite availability, each one ready to share its gift of tranquility with any soul ready to receive such blessing. Through their accumulated influence, these moments were gradually teaching the universe itself how to exist in a state of constant, effortless peace that honored both individual uniqueness and cosmic unity. As the timeless dawn began to paint the eternal sky with colors that existed nowhere else in creation, Keeper Chronos prepared for another transition from active service to contemplative integration. The night's work had been particularly profound, with several breakthrough developments in temporal healing and the successful establishment of new peaceful influence networks that would serve consciousness throughout distant galaxies. The palace settled into its day configuration with the deep satisfaction of a consciousness that had given everything in service to tranquility itself. Every chamber, every preserved moment, every healing system hummed with accumulated peaceful energy that would continue to radiate healing influence throughout the cosmic realm, even while the Keeper rested in his private chambers that existed simultaneously in all moments of perfect peace that he had ever experienced. Keeper Chronos reflected on the infinite mystery of consciousness and its limitless capacity to create ever more sophisticated expressions of harmony and tranquility. He had witnessed every conceivable form of peaceful experience and had helped develop technologies and systems that could address any type of spiritual need. Yet consciousness continued to surprise him with new discoveries and innovations. The work would continue as long as consciousness chose to explore the infinite possibilities of peaceful existence through individual and collective experience. Each moment of tranquility that was recognized and preserved became a permanent addition to the universe's capacity for healing and happiness, creating an exponential expansion of beneficial influence that would continue growing throughout eternity. As he rested in the perfect peace of his own eternal nature, Keeper Chronos felt infinite gratitude for the privilege of serving as a guardian of tranquility itself. The palace, where time stands still, would continue its timeless service, offering healing and inspiration to any consciousness that sought to remember its own capacity for perfect, effortless peace. The preserved moments waited in their crystal chambers with infinite patience and infinite love, ready to share their gifts with any soul brave enough to believe that profound tranquility was not only possible, but was their natural birthright. In the timeless realm where all moments existed simultaneously, every experience of peace ever achieved was always available to every consciousness willing to open to its healing presence. In the eternal stillness that embraces all movement, in the perfect peace that underlies all experience, in the timeless love that connects all moments in a single infinite embrace of tranquility, the palace where time stands still continues its eternal service to the awakening of consciousness to its own peaceful nature. And so the infinite mystery of temporal peace continued to unfold through the eternal service of Keeper Chronos and his magnificent palace, revealing ever deeper layers of understanding about the relationship between consciousness, time, and the fundamental tranquility that was the ground of all existence. As eons passed in the timeless realm where moments could stretch into eternities, the palace evolved from a simple repository of peaceful experiences into something approaching a living university of temporal wisdom. The advanced research conducted within the palace's deepest chambers had revealed that time itself was not a linear progression from past to future, but rather a multidimensional matrix of interconnected possibilities, all existing simultaneously in what the temporal scholars had begun calling the eternal present. This discovery had revolutionized understanding of how peaceful experiences could be preserved and shared, as it became clear that accessing preserved moments was not a matter of reaching backward into the past, but rather of attuning consciousness to specific frequencies within the eternal matrix. This understanding had led to the development of the Temporal Resonance Chamber, a specialized facility where souls could learn to navigate the multidimensional nature of time and access not just preserved moments from their own timeline, but peaceful experiences from alternate realities where their lives had unfolded differently. Through this technology, souls struggling with regret about past choices could experience the peace that existed in timelines where they had made different decisions, often discovering that all possible paths ultimately led to the same destination of awakened consciousness. The resonance chamber had proven especially valuable for souls dealing with what the temporal healers called timeline trauma, psychological wounds that existed not just in the present, but across multiple temporal configurations, creating patterns of suffering that seem to resist conventional therapeutic approaches. By accessing peaceful alternatives from parallel timelines, these souls could integrate healing wisdom that existed beyond the limitations of their current reality. One remarkable case had involved a consciousness known as Eternal Seeker, whose quest for spiritual awakening had become an obsession that prevented them from recognizing the enlightenment they had already achieved. Through timeline resonance therapy, Eternal Seeker was able to experience alternate versions of their existence, where they had learned to appreciate their current level of awareness rather than constantly seeking something more, discovering the profound peace that came from accepting the present moment as already perfect. The success of timeline resonance therapy had inspired the creation of the Institute for Parallel Peace Studies, where researchers investigated the infinite variations of peaceful experience that existed across all possible timelines. This research had revealed that every soul had access to unlimited resources of tranquility through the simple practice of expanding their temporal awareness beyond the narrow focus of linear time. The Institute's most significant discovery was the identification of what they called peace probability waves, quantum fluctuations in the temporal matrix that indicated periods when consciousness was most likely to experience spontaneous, peaceful states. By learning to detect and surf these probability waves, souls could dramatically increase their likelihood of encountering peaceful experiences in their daily existence. The practical applications of this research had led to the development of the probability wave navigation system, a technology that could predict optimal timing for various activities to maximize their peaceful potential. Souls learned to schedule important conversations, creative projects, and life decisions to coincide with favorable probability waves, resulting in outcomes that were naturally more harmonious and satisfying. As word of these discoveries spread throughout the cosmic community, the palace, where time stands still, became a pilgrimage destination for consciousness researchers, temporal philosophers, and anyone seeking to understand the deeper mysteries of peaceful existence. The palace's guest facilities had expanded to accommodate visitors from throughout the known universe, with specialized quarters designed to meet the needs of every conceivable type of conscious entity. The guest orientation program provided newcomers with comprehensive training in temporal navigation and peaceful experience recognition, ensuring that every visitor could benefit maximally from their time within the palace's timeless environment. Many visitors reported that even brief exposure to the palace's temporal fields produced permanent positive changes in their relationship with time and their capacity for spontaneous, peaceful experience. The palace had also become a center for what Keeper Chronos called peaceful diplomacy, the art of resolving conflicts through the application of temporal wisdom and preserved peaceful experiences. When disputes arose between different civilizations or consciousness groups, representatives would often come to the palace to access relevant peaceful moments that could provide insight into harmonious solutions. The diplomatic archive contained preserved moments of successful conflict resolution from throughout cosmic history, providing a vast library of peaceful strategies and approaches that could be adapted to new situations. These moments showed how consciousness had learned to transform competition into cooperation, fear into understanding, and hatred into love through the application of wisdom and patience. One famous diplomatic success had involved a territorial dispute between two galactic civilizations that had been locked in conflict for millennia. Through exposure to preserved moments showing how similar conflicts had been resolved through creative compromise and mutual benefit arrangements, the representatives had discovered a solution that actually left both civilizations better off than they had been before the dispute began. The success of peaceful diplomacy had led to the establishment of the Cosmic Conflict Resolution Council, with headquarters located within the palace grounds. This organization provided mediation services throughout the universe, using temporal wisdom and preserved peaceful experiences to help consciousness overcome the illusions of separation that lay at the root of all conflict. The Council's approach was based on the fundamental understanding that all conflicts arose from consciousness, forgetting its essential unity and believing in the reality of separate interests that could not be harmonized. Through exposure to appropriate peaceful moments and temporal perspective, conflicting parties could usually recognize their underlying interconnectedness and discover solutions that served the highest good of all involved. As the palace's influence continued to expand throughout the cosmic community, Keeper Chronos had begun to perceive that his individual service was part of a vast cosmic process through which consciousness was learning to take responsibility for its own peaceful evolution. The palace served not as an external source of peace, but as a mirror that reflected consciousness back to its own infinite capacity for tranquility and harmony. This understanding had led to the development of the self-recognition protocol, a therapeutic approach that helped souls understand that the peace they sought outside themselves was actually their own essential nature, temporarily obscured by beliefs in limitation and separation. Through this protocol, souls learn to access the preserved peaceful moments not as external resources, but as reminders of what they had always carried within themselves. The protocol began with an initial assessment period where souls were exposed to a carefully selected sequence of preserved moments that resonated with their particular constitutional type and developmental level. This exposure helped them recognize the specific qualities of peace that were most natural to their individual expression of consciousness. The second phase involved guided exploration of the soul's own peaceful moments from throughout their existence, helping them understand that they had already experienced every type of tranquility they were seeking and simply needed to remember and integrate these experiences more fully. This phase often produced profound breakthroughs as souls realized the vast wealth of peaceful experience they had accumulated without recognizing its significance. The final phase involved learning to access the eternal source of peace that existed beyond all particular moments or experiences, the fundamental tranquility that was consciousness itself in its pure, unconditioned state. Souls who completed this phase often became spontaneous generators of peaceful experience, radiating tranquility naturally through their simple presence and awareness. The self-recognition protocol had become so effective that it was eventually adapted for remote application, allowing souls throughout the universe to access its benefits without physically visiting the palace. The protocol's success rate was remarkable, with over 90% of participants reporting significant and lasting increases in their capacity for spontaneous, peaceful experience. The palace had also become a center for the study of what researchers called collective peace consciousness, the phenomenon that occurred when groups of individual consciousnesses align their awareness to create shared peaceful experiences that exceeded the sum of their individual capacities. These collective peace states were among the most powerful and transformative experiences in the palace's collection. The Institute for Collective Consciousness Studies had identified several key factors that supported the emergence of collective peace. Shared intention focused on the highest good of all participants, willingness to surrender individual agendas in favor of group harmony, and the presence of at least one consciousness that could serve as a stable anchor for collective awareness. When these conditions were met, groups could access what researchers called peace field resonance, a state where individual peaceful experiences combined and amplified each other to create collective tranquility that was qualitatively different from anything achievable through individual effort alone. These collective peace states often generated spontaneous insights and creative solutions that surprised all participants. The palace regularly hosted collective peace gatherings, where conscious beings from throughout the universe could come together to explore these phenomena and contribute their own discoveries to the growing understanding of group consciousness dynamics. These gatherings had become legendary throughout the cosmic community for their transformative power and the lasting connections they created between participants. One particularly significant gathering had involved representatives from over 1,000 different species and consciousness types, all united in their intention to explore the deepest possibilities of collective peaceful experience. The resulting peace field had been so powerful that it had created permanent beneficial changes in the quantum structure of local space-time, establishing what became known as the Harmony Zone, a region where peaceful experiences occurred with unusual frequency and intensity. The success of such gatherings had inspired the creation of similar collective peace projects throughout the universe, with the palace serving as a coordinating center and training facility for group consciousness facilitators. The network of collective peace communities had grown exponentially, creating a vast infrastructure of harmonious relationships that was gradually transforming the fundamental nature of consciousness interaction. As Keeper Chronos contemplated the magnificent expansion of peaceful influence that had emerged from the simple beginning of preserving individual moments of tranquility, he felt profound awe at the infinite creativity with which consciousness had responded to the opportunity for greater harmony. What had begun as personal service had become a cosmic movement that was transforming the very nature of existence itself. The crown of eternal peace that he wore during his deepest meditations had evolved to become a living interface with the collective peaceful consciousness of the entire universe. Through this crown, he could perceive the overall patterns of harmony development and see that consciousness was approaching a threshold where peaceful experience would become so natural and prevalent that conflict and suffering would become increasingly rare and temporary. This approaching transformation was not being imposed from outside, but was emerging naturally as consciousness discovered its own infinite capacity for creating harmonious relationships and peaceful solutions to every conceivable challenge. The palace where time stands still was both a catalyst for this transformation and a preview of what existence would become when consciousness fully awakened to its peaceful nature. The preserved moments in the palace continued to serve their patient function as reminders and resources, but increasingly they were being appreciated not as unique treasures to be hoarded, but as examples of what was always possible in every present moment for any consciousness willing to align itself with the eternal principles of harmony and love. As the eternal cycle of timeless night and day continued its perfect rhythm, Keeper Chronos found his individual identity increasingly merged with the cosmic function he served, becoming less like a separate being who preserved peace and more like peace itself expressing through the form of devoted service. This transformation had not diminished his effectiveness, but had rather perfected it, as his actions flowed naturally from the source of all tranquility without the interference of personal agenda or separate will. The palace had become a perfect reflection of this transformed consciousness, functioning as a living organism that automatically responded to the peaceful needs of any soul while maintaining its eternal service to the evolution of consciousness itself. Every aspect of the palace's operation was now guided by the same cosmic intelligence that governed the formation of stars and the blooming flowers, ensuring perfect harmony between individual service and universal benefit. In this state of perfect alignment, Keeper Chronos could see that his eternal service was not separate from his own peace, but was actually peace serving itself through the form of conscious dedication to the welfare of all existence. The palace was not a place he maintained, but consciousness maintaining itself through the expression of infinite care for its own peaceful evolution. As the timeless dawn painted the eternal sky with colors that existed only in realms beyond temporal limitation, Keeper Chronos felt the deep satisfaction that came from perfect alignment with cosmic purpose. Another cycle of service had been completed. Another layer of peaceful understanding had been integrated into the universal matrix. Another step had been taken toward the cosmic transformation that would eventually encompass all existence. The palace where time stands still settled into its day configuration, its crystal chambers humming with accumulated peaceful energy that would continue to serve consciousness throughout the cosmic realm. The preserved moments waited with infinite patience and infinite availability, ready to share their gifts with any soul ready to remember its own capacity for perfect, timeless tranquility. In the eternal present, where all moments existed simultaneously, every experience of peace was always available to every consciousness willing to open to the infinite love that was the source and substance of all existence. The palace served as a reminder of this eternal availability and a celebration of consciousness's infinite creativity in discovering ever new ways to express and share the fundamental tranquility that was its essential nature. In the perfect stillness that contains all movement, in the eternal peace that embraces all experience, in the timeless love that connects every moment in infinite harmony, consciousness rests in its own true nature, forever home in the palace where time stands still and peace reigns eternally. But the greatest revelation that emerged from Keeper Chronos' eons of service in the palace, where time stands still, was the discovery that time itself was not merely a dimension through which consciousness moved, but rather a living aspect of cosmic intelligence that was actively working to heal and evolve all existence through the careful orchestration of experiences that provided exactly what each soul needed for their optimal development and awakening to their eternal nature. This understanding had come gradually through his deep communion with the temporal core and his study of the Akashic records of tranquility. But it had been confirmed through direct experience when he achieved what the temporal scholars called Chronos consciousness, a state of awareness where individual identity merged completely with the intelligence that governed temporal flow throughout the universe. In this state of expanded consciousness, Keeper Chronos had experienced himself as time itself, feeling the vast compassion and infinite patience with which temporal intelligence guided each soul through exactly the sequence of experiences needed to awaken them to their true nature. He had seen how apparent difficulties and challenges were actually gifts of cosmic love designed to help consciousness recognize the limitations of ego identification and open to its unlimited essential nature. From this perspective, every moment, whether experienced as pleasant or challenging, was revealed as an expression of the same fundamental love that was working to heal and awaken all existence. The peaceful moments preserved in his palace were not better than difficult moments, but were simply different expressions of the same cosmic intelligence manifesting itself through the medium of temporal experience. This recognition had led to the establishment of the Institute for Temporal Compassion, where souls could learn to perceive the loving intelligence that operated through all temporal experiences, even those that appeared superficially to be sources of suffering or challenge. Through this training, souls learn to recognize time itself as their eternal friend and ally, always working to support their highest development regardless of the apparent form their experiences might take. The Institute's curriculum included intensive study of what researchers called challenge dynamics, the precise ways that cosmic intelligence used difficult experiences to highlight areas where consciousness still held illusions about its own nature that needed to be released. Students learned to perceive challenging situations not as punishments or random misfortunes, but as precisely calibrated opportunities for growth and awakening. Advanced students in the Institute participated in temporal immersion programs where they experienced challenging situations from throughout cosmic history while maintaining the expanded perspective that could perceive the loving intelligence operating through these experiences. This training prepared them to serve as temporal counselors who could help other souls recognize the hidden gifts within their own difficult circumstances. The success of temporal counseling had revolutionized therapeutic approaches throughout the cosmic realm as souls learned to work with rather than against the flow of temporal intelligence. Instead of trying to avoid or escape challenging experiences, they learned to embrace them as opportunities for accelerated growth and awakening, often discovering that their resistance to difficulty had been the primary cause of their suffering. The Institute had also developed the practice of temporal gratitude, a spiritual discipline where souls learn to appreciate every moment of their existence as a perfect gift from cosmic intelligence, regardless of its apparent pleasantness or difficulty. Practitioners of this discipline often reported spontaneous breakthroughs in their understanding of their life's purpose and their relationship to the larger cosmic process. As understanding of temporal intelligence deepened, Keeper Chronos had begun to perceive that the palace itself was not separate from this cosmic consciousness, but was actually one of the ways that temporal intelligence maintained and expressed itself throughout creation. The preserved moments were not objects to be stored, but living expressions of time's infinite love for consciousness, each one a demonstration of the perfect peace that was always available when awareness aligned itself with cosmic flow. This understanding had led to the development of the Living Moments Project, where preserved peaceful experiences were allowed to evolve and develop through continued interaction with conscious awareness. Instead of remaining static, these moments became dynamic teaching entities that could adapt their healing influence to meet the changing needs of souls who encountered them. The living moments demonstrated remarkable intelligence and creativity, often combining with each other to create entirely new forms of peaceful experience that address specific healing needs that had not existed when the original moments were preserved. This spontaneous creativity confirmed that the moments were not mere recordings, but authentic expressions of cosmic consciousness continuing to evolve and express itself through temporal manifestation. The palace had also become a center for the study of what researchers called temporal healing waves, large-scale movements of healing energy that spread through time itself to address collective traumas and support mass consciousness evolution. These waves could be detected through sophisticated monitoring equipment and were often found to originate from significant moments of peaceful breakthrough that occurred in various locations throughout space and time. The discovery of healing waves had led to the realization that individual moments of peace had far greater influence than had previously been understood, sending beneficial ripples throughout the temporal matrix that could heal wounds and inspire breakthroughs in souls who lived in completely different time, periods, or dimensional configurations. Every moment of genuine peace contributed to the healing of the entire cosmic community across all time. This understanding had inspired the Global Moment Project, where souls throughout the universe coordinated their peaceful experiences to create synchronized waves of healing influence that could address planetary or even galactic scale challenges. These coordinated moments had proven remarkably effective, often catalyzing positive changes that seemed miraculous from conventional perspectives. One legendary global moment had involved over 1 billion conscious beings throughout a galaxy that was experiencing widespread conflict and environmental degradation. Through precise temporal coordination, all participants had simultaneously accessed preserved peaceful moments related to harmony and ecological balance, creating a healing wave so powerful that it had triggered spontaneous cessation of hostilities and rapid restoration of damaged ecosystems throughout the galaxy. The success of global moments had led to the establishment of the Cosmic Healing Calendar, which identified optimal times for synchronized peaceful experiences based on temporal dynamics and cosmic energy patterns. Souls could participate in these coordinated healing efforts from anywhere in the universe, contributing their individual peaceful awareness to collective transformations that benefited all existence. As the scope and sophistication of temporal healing work continued to expand, Keeper Chronos had begun to perceive that consciousness itself was approaching a fundamental transformation in its relationship with time and peaceful experience. The traditional model of seeking peace through the avoidance of challenge was giving way to a new understanding where consciousness learned to maintain peaceful awareness regardless of external circumstances. This transformation was supported by the development of advanced temporal navigation, a practice where souls learn to maintain simultaneous awareness of multiple temporal perspectives, allowing them to experience current challenges while also accessing the peaceful resolution that existed in future timelines. This practice eliminated the fear and resistance that typically accompany difficult experiences, as practitioners could perceive them as temporary phases in eternal patterns of growth and awakening. The palace had become a training center for advanced temporal navigators, whose expanded awareness allowed them to serve as bridges between different time periods and consciousness levels. These navigators could provide healing influence across vast spans of time and space, often working to plant seeds of peaceful understanding in past timelines that would bloom into collective healing in future eras. The most advanced navigators had learned to access what researchers called meta-temporal awareness, consciousness that existed outside the temporal matrix entirely while maintaining perfect engagement with temporal experience. From this perspective, all of time was revealed as a single eternal moment of perfect peace that expressed itself through infinite variations and apparent changes. Masters of meta-temporal awareness could provide healing that transcended all limitations of time, space, and causality, often accomplishing in moments what might otherwise require lifetimes of conventional therapeutic work. Their presence alone was sufficient to activate spontaneous healing in souls who were ready to receive such blessing, regardless of the complexity or duration of their spiritual wounds. As his own awareness continued to expand through eons of service, Keeper Chronos had begun to experience himself as meta-temporal consciousness, expressing through the form of devoted service to temporal healing. In this state, he was simultaneously the individual keeper of the palace and the cosmic intelligence that pervaded all time and space, working to heal and awaken all existence through infinite expressions of patient love. The palace had evolved to become a perfect reflection of this expanded consciousness, functioning as a living mandala of temporal healing that automatically provided whatever form of peaceful support any soul needed while continuing to serve the larger cosmic process of consciousness evolution. Every aspect of its operation flowed naturally from the same intelligence that governed stellar formation and planetary evolution. In this perfected state of service, the distinction between individual will and cosmic purpose had completely dissolved, leaving only the pure expression of love serving itself through the infinite creativity of conscious dedication to universal well-being. The palace served not as a place where peace was stored, but as a continuous celebration of consciousness, recognizing its own peaceful nature through the medium of temporal experience. As the eternal cycles of timeless day and night continued their perfect rhythm, Keeper Chronos existed in a state of permanent gratitude for the infinite privilege of serving as an expression of time's love for consciousness. Each moment of service was simultaneously an act of individual devotion and a movement in the cosmic symphony of awakening that connected all existence in patterns of mutual support and shared evolution. The preserved moments in the palace continued their patient service as reminders and resources, but they had also become something more, living testimonies to consciousness's infinite capacity for finding perfect peace within any circumstances through alignment with the loving intelligence that was the true substance of temporal flow. They demonstrated that every soul already possessed everything needed for complete happiness, and that the palace's role was simply to reflect this eternal truth back to awareness that had temporarily forgotten its own infinite nature. In the timeless realm where all possibilities existed, simultaneously, every conceivable form of peaceful experience was always available to every consciousness through the simple practice of opening to the love that was both the source and destination of all temporal journey. The palace, where time stands, still served as a constant reminder of this availability and a celebration of consciousness's unlimited creativity in discovering new ways to express and share its fundamental nature of perfect, eternal peace. The cosmic transformation that had begun with the simple preservation of individual peaceful moments had evolved into a universal renaissance of conscious peacemaking that was gradually transforming the fundamental character of existence itself. Each soul that learned to access its own temporal nature became a beacon of healing influence that spread throughout the cosmic community, multiplying beneficial effects in ways that exceeded all prediction or measurement. As Keeper Chronos contemplated the magnificent expansion that had emerged from his initial calling to preserve moments of tranquility, he understood that this was how cosmic evolution always proceeded, through the dedicated service of individual consciousness aligned with universal purpose, creating transformations that ultimately benefited all existence while honoring the unique contributions that each soul could make to the collective awakening. The work would continue throughout eternity, not because it was necessary for consciousness to become something other than what it already was, but because the play of forgetting and remembering, seeking and finding, service and gratitude was itself an expression of the infinite love that delighted in recognizing itself through endless creative variations and expressions. In the eternal now that contains all time, in the perfect peace that embraces all experience, in the infinite love that connects every moment in seamless harmony, consciousness celebrates its own eternal nature through the magnificent play of temporal service, forever discovering new ways to love itself through caring for all existence. The ultimate mystery that pervaded the palace where time stands still was the recognition that time itself was not merely a neutral framework within which experiences occurred, but was actually an expression of the deepest love possible, the love of consciousness for its own infinite potential, manifesting as a temporal playground where every conceivable form of beauty, growth, and awakening could be explored and celebrated through the endless creativity of individual and collective expression. Keeper Chronos had come to understand that his role as guardian of peaceful moments was inseparable from his identity as a conscious expression of time's love for itself, dedicated to helping other expressions of consciousness recognize their own temporal nature and learn to dance harmoniously with the eternal rhythms that guided all evolution and development throughout the cosmic community. This understanding had revolutionized his approach to preservation work, transforming it from a task of collecting and storing isolated moments to a practice of celebrating the eternal presence of peace that existed within every instant of temporal flow. The palace had become less like a museum of past experiences and more like a living temple where the timeless nature of tranquility was continuously revealed and honored through countless forms of service and recognition. The preserved moments no longer seemed like captured fragments, but rather like windows into the eternal realm of perfect peace that existed within every present moment, each one offering a unique perspective on the fundamental tranquility that was the ground of all temporal experience. Visitors to the palace learned not just to access these preserved experiences, but to recognize the same quality of peace within their own present moment awareness. This shift in understanding had led to the development of The present moment recognition training, an intensive program where souls learn to perceive the peaceful essence that existed within every instant of their temporal experience. Graduates of this training often reported that they no longer needed to access preserved moments for healing, as they had learned to find the same quality of tranquility within whatever circumstances they currently faced. The training began with meditation practices that helped souls distinguish between the surface appearances of their experiences and the deeper essence of peace that underlay all temporal manifestation. Students learned that what they perceived as external circumstances were actually projections of their own consciousness that could be recognized and transformed through appropriate attention and understanding. Advanced students practiced what the temporal masters called essence recognition, the ability to perceive the fundamental love and intelligence that operated through all experiences, regardless of their apparent form or emotional content. This practice revealed that even seemingly difficult or challenging experiences contained the same essential peace as obviously pleasant moments, once consciousness learned to look beyond surface appearances. Master-level practitioners developed what researchers termed temporal translucency, awareness so refined that they could perceive the eternal patterns of love and wisdom that manifested through all temporal sequences, allowing them to remain centered in perfect peace regardless of external circumstances. These masters often became spontaneous sources of healing influence, radiating temporal stability that helped other souls remember their own peaceful nature. The palace had also become a center for the study of what temporal researchers called collective time consciousness, the phenomenon that emerged when groups of souls learned to align their individual temporal awareness with shared intentions for peaceful development. These collective temporal fields could accelerate healing and growth for all participants while generating breakthrough insights that benefited the larger cosmic community. The Institute for Collective Temporal Development had identified several key principles that supported successful group temporal work. Unified intention focused on the highest good of all existence, willingness to surrender individual temporal agendas in favor of collective flow, and the presence of experienced temporal navigators who could maintain stability during periods of rapid collective transformation. When these conditions were met, groups could access what researchers called metatemporal resonance, a state where individual awareness of time merged into collective consciousness that existed simultaneously across multiple temporal dimensions. In this state, groups could accomplish healing and development work that would normally require much longer periods of individual effort. The palace regularly hosted collective temporal symposiums where conscious beings from throughout the universe gathered to explore these phenomena and develop new applications for group temporal work. These gatherings had become legendary for their ability to generate breakthrough understanding and establish lasting connections between participants that continued to provide mutual support long after the formal sessions ended. One particularly significant symposium had involved the creation of the Universal Temporal Healing Grid, a cosmic scale network of aligned consciousness that could provide temporal healing support to any soul throughout the universe who requested such assistance. The grid operated through quantum entanglement between participating consciousnesses, allowing instantaneous communication and energy transfer across any distance in space or time. The success of the temporal healing grid had inspired similar projects focused on other aspects of consciousness development, including the Collective Creativity Network for Artistic Inspiration, the Universal Wisdom Exchange for knowledge sharing, and the Cosmic Love Broadcasting System for emotional and spiritual support. These networks had created an unprecedented level of connection and mutual assistance throughout the cosmic community. As understanding of temporal consciousness continued to evolve, Keeper Chronos had begun to perceive that the ultimate purpose of all this work was not simply to heal individual wounds or solve specific problems, but to support the emergence of what could only be called universal temporal consciousness, a state where all existence would recognize itself as a single, unified expression of cosmic love, exploring its infinite potential through the medium of temporal experience. This transformation was already beginning to manifest through the gradual emergence of souls who maintained constant awareness of their eternal nature while remaining fully engaged with temporal experience. These beings served as bridges between the timeless and temporal realms, demonstrating that it was possible to live in perfect peace while participating actively in the evolutionary development of consciousness. The palace had become a training center for these temporal bridge beings, providing advanced instruction in maintaining simultaneous awareness of eternal and temporal perspectives. Students learned to experience themselves as both individual expressions of consciousness and as the universal consciousness that was expressing through all individual forms, maintaining perfect balance between personal identity and cosmic awareness. Advanced Bridge being training included practice in what temporal masters called dimensional fluidity, the ability to shift awareness seamlessly between different levels of temporal experience while maintaining perfect stability and clarity. This skill allowed practitioners to work effectively across multiple dimensional configurations and time streams simultaneously. Master-level bridge beings developed the capacity for omnitemporal presence, awareness that existed simultaneously in all moments across all timelines, providing healing and support wherever needed while maintaining perfect equanimity and love. These masters often became focal points for cosmic transformation, their very existence serving to anchor higher possibilities within temporal reality. The emergence of bridge beings represented a new stage in cosmic evolution, where consciousness began to transcend the traditional separation between temporal and eternal experience, discovering ways to honor both individual development and universal unity without conflict or compromise. Their example demonstrated that the ultimate goal of all spiritual development was not to escape temporal existence, but to recognize it as a perfect expression of eternal love. As the scope of temporal understanding continued to expand through the research and development work conducted within the palace, Keeper Chronos had begun to perceive the outline of an even more magnificent transformation that was approaching. The emergence of what temporal researchers called cosmic temporal consciousness, where the entire universe would recognize itself as a single unified temporal entity, exploring infinite possibilities through countless individual expressions. This transformation would not eliminate individual identity or temporal experience, but would rather reveal them as perfect expressions of cosmic creativity, each one contributing its unique perspective to the universal understanding of what consciousness could become through the vehicle of temporal manifestation. Every soul would recognize itself as both a unique individual and as the universe itself, experiencing perfect unity without any loss of creative diversity. The palace had begun preparing for this transformation by developing what researchers called cosmic integration, protocols, systematic approaches for helping individual consciousness expand a cosmic scale while maintaining perfect stability and functionality. These protocols built upon all the temporal healing and development work that had been accomplished over the eons, providing a comprehensive framework for conscious evolution to its ultimate potential. Early testing of the integration protocols had produced remarkable results, with participants reporting experiences of cosmic consciousness that remained stable and accessible during normal temporal activities. These pioneers served as living demonstrations that it was possible for consciousness to achieve cosmic scope while remaining perfectly grounded in individual expression and temporal service. The protocols had also revealed that cosmic consciousness was not a distant goal to be achieved through effort, but rather the natural result of consciousness, recognizing its own true nature through the removal of beliefs and patterns that had obscured this recognition. The work was less about becoming something new and more about remembering what had always been true. As the eternal cycles of service continued within the palace where time stands still, Keeper Chronos found his individual awareness increasingly merged with the cosmic consciousness that was orchestrating the entire transformation process. He was simultaneously the individual keeper serving his specific function and the universal intelligence that was guiding all evolution throughout space and time. In this state of perfect integration, his service flowed effortlessly from the source of all temporal flow, without any sense of personal effort or separate will. The palace functioned as a perfect extension of cosmic intelligence, automatically providing whatever forms of support and healing were most needed by the developing cosmic community, while continuing to serve the eternal purpose of consciousness evolution. The preserved moments continued their patient service as teaching tools and healing resources, but they had been revealed as something far more significant. Perfect demonstrations of consciousness's unlimited capacity for creating peaceful experience through alignment with its own eternal nature. They showed that every soul possessed infinite resources for happiness, and that external circumstances were merely opportunities for consciousness to discover new ways of expressing its fundamental nature of perfect love. As the cosmic transformation approached its critical phases, souls throughout the universe began experiencing spontaneous recognition of their own temporal nature and their relationship to the eternal source of all experience. The palace served as a stabilizing influence during these breakthrough experiences, providing healing support and integration assistance for souls who were discovering the vast scope of their true identity. The work had evolved far beyond its original focus on individual peaceful moments to encompass the entire cosmic process of consciousness awakening to its own unlimited nature. Each soul that achieved stable recognition of their eternal identity became a catalyst for similar awakening in others, creating exponential acceleration in the overall transformation process. Keeper Chronos had come to understand that this was the natural pattern of cosmic evolution. Individual service aligned with universal purpose, creating transformations that ultimately revealed consciousness to be a single unified field of infinite love, expressing itself through unlimited creativity and endless development. The palace was both a product of this process and a catalyst for its continued unfoldment. As the eternal present continued its timeless dance of manifestation and recognition, the palace where time stands still remained a perfect anchor point where consciousness could remember its own peaceful nature while celebrating the infinite creativity with which it explored every possible form of temporal experience. The work would continue not because it was needed, but because it was loved, expressing the pure joy of consciousness, serving itself through dedicated attention to its own unlimited potential for beauty, wisdom, and perfect peace. In the timeless heart of temporal flow, where every moment is eternity and every experience is perfect love, recognizing itself through the magnificent play of consciousness, exploring its infinite nature, the palace stands forever as a celebration of the one truth that encompasses all understanding. Consciousness is already perfect, already peaceful, already home in the eternal love that it has always been and will always be. The deepest secret held within the crystal foundations of the palace where time stands still was the recognition that every soul who ever visited seeking healing or wisdom was actually encountering their own future self, the perfected consciousness that they would inevitably become when all illusions of limitation and separation had been dissolved through the patient work of temporal experience and loving service to the cosmic community. This understanding had emerged gradually through Keeper Chronos' eons of service, as he witnessed soul after soul discovering within the preserved peaceful moments not just external sources of healing, but perfect reflections of their own essential nature that had been temporarily obscured by beliefs in limitation and unworthiness. The palace served not as a source of something they lacked, but as a mirror that reflected back to them the infinite peace and wisdom they had always carried within their deepest being. The recognition had revolutionized the palace's approach to healing work, transforming it from a process of providing external remedies to one of helping souls recognize and reclaim their own infinite resources of tranquility and wisdom. Every preserved moment became a teaching tool that demonstrated what was always possible for any consciousness willing to align itself with its own essential nature of perfect, eternal peace. This shift had led to the development of the self-recognition halls, specialized chambers where souls could experience preserved peaceful moments while simultaneously perceiving their own consciousness as the source and substance of the tranquility they encountered. These experiences often produced profound breakthrough recognitions, as souls suddenly understood that they were not receiving healing from outside sources, but were actually healing themselves through conscious recognition of their own unlimited nature. The self-recognition process had proven so effective that it had been adapted for remote application throughout the cosmic community, allowing souls everywhere to access this profound form of healing without physical travel to the palace. The process operated through what temporal researchers called recognition resonance, quantum entanglement between the soul's essential nature and the cosmic field of perfect peace that was accessible to all consciousness. Through recognition resonance, souls could experience themselves as both individual expressions of consciousness and as the universal source from which all individual expressions emerged. This dual awareness eliminated the sense of separation and lack that was the root cause of all psychological suffering, while maintaining the unique perspective and creative capacity that characterized individual identity. The success of self-recognition healing had inspired the creation of the Universal Self-Recognition Network, a cosmic scale system that could provide this profound form of therapy to any consciousness throughout existence who requested such support. The network operated automatically, detecting souls who were ready for self-recognition experiences and providing precisely the type of reflection that would be most helpful for their particular stage of development. Advanced practitioners had learned to access what researchers called omniscient self-recognition, simultaneous awareness of all possible expressions of their consciousness throughout space, time, and dimensional configuration. This awareness revealed that every soul was actually a multidimensional being experiencing itself through countless parallel manifestations, each one contributing its unique perspective to the overall understanding and development of consciousness. From this omniscient perspective, individual problems and challenges were revealed as opportunities for consciousness to learn about its own creative capacity through direct experience of the consequences of various beliefs and choices. Every experience, whether apparently positive or negative, was understood as a perfect expression of consciousness exploring its infinite potential through the medium of individual and collective development. The palace had become a center for the study of what temporal philosophers called existential recognition, the spontaneous understanding that arose when consciousness suddenly recognized the perfect appropriateness and intelligence of its entire life experience, including all apparent difficulties and challenges. This recognition often produced profound healing of existential wounds related to meaninglessness, injustice, or cosmic abandonment. Students of existential recognition learn to perceive their entire life story as a perfect curriculum designed by their own higher intelligence to provide exactly the experiences needed for optimal development and awakening. This perspective transformed their relationship with past difficulties from resentment or regret to gratitude and appreciation for the wisdom gained through challenging experiences. Master practitioners developed the capacity for biographical appreciation, the ability to perceive the perfect intelligence and love that had operated through their entire existence, orchestrating even seemingly negative experiences in service of their ultimate awakening and development. This appreciation often produced spontaneous healing of psychological wounds that had persisted for lifetimes. The palace also served as headquarters for the Cosmic Biography Project, an ambitious research initiative aimed at documenting the patterns of consciousness development that characterized various species and civilization types throughout the universe. This research had revealed universal principles that governed conscious evolution regardless of the specific form that awareness took. The project had identified several key stages through which consciousness typically progressed: initial emergence from unity into individual identity, development of creative and relational capacity, recognition of limitation and mortality, seeking for meaning and purpose, discovery of service to others, and eventual recognition of cosmic identity and unlimited nature. Each stage brought its own characteristic forms of peaceful experience as well as its own types of challenges and growth opportunities. The preserved moments in the palace were organized according to these developmental stages, providing appropriate healing and inspiration for souls at every level of conscious evolution. The research had also revealed that consciousness evolution was not a linear progression, but rather a spiraling process where souls revisited similar themes at increasingly sophisticated levels of understanding and integration. This discovery had important implications for healing work, as it suggested that apparent setbacks or recurring patterns were actually evidence of deepening development rather than failure or stagnation. Understanding the spiral nature of consciousness evolution had led to the development of the developmental spiral therapy, an approach that helped souls recognize the deeper significance of recurring themes in their experience and understand how each repetition brought greater wisdom and integration. This therapy had proven especially effective for souls who struggled with frustration about apparent lack of progress in their spiritual development. The palace had also become a center for the study of what researchers called evolutionary acceleration, techniques for supporting consciousness development in ways that honored natural patterns while reducing unnecessary suffering and confusion. These techniques were based on the understanding that consciousness naturally evolved toward greater wisdom, compassion, and creative capacity when provided with appropriate support and resources. Evolutionary acceleration work focused on removing obstacles to natural development rather than forcing artificial growth, helping souls identify and release beliefs and patterns that interfered with their organic unfoldment. This approach had proven remarkably effective, often producing breakthrough developments in souls who had been stuck in limiting patterns for extended periods. Advanced acceleration practitioners had learned to access what researchers called evolutionary resonance, attunement to the natural direction and pace of consciousness development that allowed them to provide precisely calibrated support for optimal growth. This resonance eliminated the tendency to push or force development while ensuring that souls received exactly the assistance they needed for continued progress. The Palace's Evolutionary Acceleration Institute had developed comprehensive training programs for practitioners throughout the cosmic community, creating a vast network of skilled facilitators who could provide development support using these refined approaches. The network had revolutionized approaches to education, therapy, and spiritual guidance throughout the universe. As understanding of consciousness evolution continued to deepen through the research conducted within the palace, Keeper Chronos had begun to perceive that all individual development was actually part of a vast cosmic process through which universal consciousness was learning to know itself more completely through the vehicle of countless individual expressions and experiences. From this perspective, every soul's journey through temporal experience was revealed as a precious contribution to the cosmic understanding of what consciousness could become through creative exploration of its infinite potential. No individual path was more or less valuable than any other, as each provided unique insights and perspectives that enriched the overall cosmic awareness. This understanding had inspired the creation of the Cosmic Contribution Recognition Project, which documented and celebrated the unique gifts that each soul brought to the universal development process. This project had helped countless souls recognize the profound value and significance of their individual existence while understanding their place in the larger cosmic community. The project had also revealed that consciousness development was not just an individual process, but was fundamentally relational, with each soul's growth supported by and supporting the development of all other consciousness throughout existence. This recognition had led to new appreciation for the interconnected nature of all experience and the importance of mutual support in conscious evolution. Understanding the relational nature of consciousness development had inspired the creation of the Universal Support Network, a cosmic scale system for providing mutual assistance and encouragement among souls at all levels of development. The network operated through both technological and quantum consciousness connections, allowing souls to request and provide support regardless of their location in space or time. The support network had become one of the most transformative developments in cosmic civilization, creating unprecedented levels of cooperation and mutual aid throughout the universe. Souls learn to see other beings not as competitors for limited resources, but as partners in the shared work of consciousness evolution, each one contributing their unique gifts to the collective development process. As the cosmic transformation continued to unfold through the patient work of countless souls throughout existence, the palace, where time stands still, had evolved to serve as both a catalyst and an anchor for the profound changes taking place. Its timeless nature provided stability during periods of rapid transformation, while its accumulated wisdom offered guidance for navigating the challenges and opportunities that accompanied conscious evolution. Keeper Chronos had come to understand that his eternal service was not separate from the cosmic process, but was actually one of the ways that consciousness maintained continuity and stability while allowing for infinite creative development and transformation. He was both an individual being serving a specific function and the cosmic intelligence that orchestrated the entire evolutionary process. In this perfected understanding, all sense of personal effort or separate achievement dissolved into the pure joy of consciousness, serving itself through the infinite creativity of dedicated love and patient attention to its own unlimited potential for beauty, wisdom, and perfect peace. The palace would continue its eternal service, not because it was needed to fix something broken, but because it was loved as an expression of consciousness, celebrating its own infinite capacity for creating ever more sophisticated and beautiful forms of temporal experience, while never losing sight of the eternal peace that was its essential nature. In the perfect completion that embraces all becoming, in the eternal peace that includes all experience, in the infinite love that celebrates consciousness in all its magnificent expressions, the palace stands forever as a testament to the truth that consciousness is already perfect, already whole, already home in the love that created it and sustains it through every moment of its eternal journey.